coming up next. What makes a satisfied customer? Apparently, it's more than just solving a problem. An expert is here with some surprising survey results. Now, what puts customers off? According to a global survey, the top 3 peeves are having to repeat their complaints, being served by staff who are not interested, and staff who are simply distracted. What they want to see is genuine service. A survey by global soft skill trainer AchieveGlobal covered 5,000 respondents and about 500 were from Singapore. It found that 8 in 10 agreed that being heard and respected is more important to them than having their issue resolved. And only 2 in 10 felt valued as customers. And to shed more light on the findings, we've got with us Andrew Calvert from AchieveGlobal, the company that administered the survey. So Andrew, only 20% of Singaporeans feel like they're valued customers. I mean, that's quite alarming, isn't it? That's
a very shocking number, given that in China and Taiwan, the numbers were about 38 to 40%. So Singaporeans feel less valued than some of their regional counterparts.
And why is that the case? I mean, are standards just simply not up to scratch?
I think there's a failure to connect on an emotional level between service providers and customers. There's probably many different reasons for that. I think service providers don't understand how to make a genuine connection on an emotional level with their customers. Are they listening carefully? Are they paying attention? Are they looking for those hidden cues that a customer is turned on by the service or turned off by the service?
But is it also because these people in the service industry, they simply don't care?
There are pockets of excellence in Singapore and there are pockets of indifference. Some of the finest service you can get are from our taxi drivers, our hawker centres. There's indifferent service from 4- and 5-star restaurants and hotels. So there's a lack of consistency rather than an endemic problem across the board.
Do you also think perhaps, Singaporeans, their expectations are too high and they're expecting the world?
Well, I think expectations have risen over the years, and rightly so. Singaporeans have more disposable income, they're spending more, they're more discerning with their money, so they should receive a higher level of service. And when they fail to get that, they notice it.
I just want to mention about, there are certain shops in Singapore, they've actually adopted this practice where you pay a certain fee and you become their VIP, so that whenever you actually patronize the shop, you actually get better service. So, I mean, is that a way, perhaps, of managing expectations?
It certainly does manage expectations. It's a model that's worked well for airlines, for petrol kiosks, I know they're very popular in Singapore, and for a number of other industries. Thing is, when you pay a little bit more, you expect a lot more. So you might be setting expectations even higher rather than turning expectations down where people don't pay that fee.
Okay, so that would defeat the whole purpose.
Really getting your people to understand their customers, what motivates them, asking them questions, understanding their needs, and then creating an experience that's unique for each customer. That's how you're going to wow them. You're not going to do it by getting them to pay you more money so you can give them the same service they got for free 10 years ago.
Does this particular survey actually go back to the companies and perhaps, tell them which are the areas that they need to highlight? We
have done a number of events with organizations who had employees or management who took part in the survey. And when we asked them certain questions about survey results like 20% don't feel valued, some organizations, their employees kind of look down and shuffle their feet, a little embarrassed, because they understand that perhaps there's some degree of culpability on their part.
Okay. And also the economic climate, are people's expectations even higher when, their pockets are tight?
Yes, the economy, as it's tightened, people have perhaps less disposable income than they might have had a few years ago. They're very careful about where they spend their money, and they want value, not just the product, but the service that goes with the product. You might buy something that makes you feel really good, but if the person in the store providing you with that object doesn't give you a great level of service, doesn't make you feel good about it, then there's going to be a disconnect.
All right, and Andrew, actually we did a little bit of our own survey. We had a reporter send out and just get some reaction from Singaporeans and learn about their experiences. So let's just have a listen.
Sure.
I think it could be much better improved. I think we have seen a drop in our customer service over a long time already.
I suppose they are not as open in the way they approach the customers.
As a customer, you hope to be treated with respect and then people serve you properly.
I don't know if we are at that stage right now in terms of in Singapore. I've not seen really personalized service.
I think it's okay. I think the salespeople do try very hard.
So do you think Singapore has got a long way more to go in terms of, matching the service and meeting the expectations?
It's a constant journey. It's going to take years to be the very best in the world, but Singapore is moving in the right direction. There are grants and subsidies in place to get training. Organizations are now being much more holistic about how they approach service and customer experience. It's very, very important. 92% of customers say they will leave an organization after just 3 poor service experiences. 31% say they'll leave after just 1 poor service experience. So organizations are beginning to understand how important customer experience is to not just growing their business, but protecting the business they've fought so hard to gain.
So finally, 3 top tips for businesses, to make sure that they can enhance their service to customers.
So research data like this, share it with every employee from top to bottom and across the organization. If they don't know why customer service is important, we have to tell them. Automated systems can cause incredible frustrations for customers when they call in. Are your automated systems really good? And then whatever processes you put in place to deal with your customers, when did you put them in place? Before Twitter, before Facebook, before any of the social media and websites? Go back and look at your processes. Maybe they're frustrating customers, because people, process and technology aligned, you can have a great customer experience. Misaligned, it's disconnected, broken, and there are lots of other companies who will take those customers and sell them instead.
Okay, and just one last question before we let you go. Are you hopeful that, for Singapore, where customer service, where customer service is expected to improve?
I think customer service is already improving. It's better than when I was here back in the 90s. There's still a long way to go, but that's a journey that every other country in the region is also on. Singapore tends to be ahead of the curve.
All right, good to know. Thank you very much, Andrew. And I was just talking to Andrew Calvert from AchieveGlobal on the latest customer satisfaction survey.